fall, y'all. For real. There's so many fucking leaves falling, and I'm like, is it somebody? I have such a stupid fear about people hearing me talk vulnerably to a camera, but yet I post these videos on the internet. What a silly Bobilly fear. Hey friends, I hope you're doing well and having a great day so far. We out in the woods, baby. We're in my territory. I don't know, I wanted to come out here because it had been a while since I had just come out to a trail and enjoyed myself. So I got my drinks, got my water. I did not put sunscreen on. So hopefully I'm in the shade enough to not get sunburned, but bitch, we'll see. Hopefully I don't get hit in the head by a pecan or something. We'll find out. So yeah, this week I wanted to talk about attachments, as this is something that is always resonant in my life. Mr. Yellow Jacket, please don't. He's so confused by my tripod. I am realizing just how attached I am to things, right? That's been a struggle for me for my entire life. I think that it has to do with probably the fact that I leaned on things to comfort me because my parents didn't or couldn't. When you do that all the time, it becomes a habit, right? So this has become a habit of mine, is believing that having things is what keeps me safe, when that is not true. All of your security and confidence comes from within. All of the answers that you need are within you. The example that I wrote down was, growing up, I was attached to stuffed animals, right? That's why kids normally cling to things like stuffed animals, is because they use having a stuffed animal as a comfort if their parent isn't around. Yeah, but what made this really resonate for me is a dream that I had. I had a dream that I got in a car wreck with one of my best friends, and we were fine, but my Subaru was totaled. As soon as I found out that we were both okay, I had an emotional breakdown about my car being totaled because I was so attached to it. Like, it broke my heart to lose that vehicle because of all of the things that I had, beliefs that it had saved me from. I do that with everything. I have emotional attachments to cups. Like, I was watching an old YouTube video of mine, and I saw a cup that was just a significant part of my life, and it got broken in a really traumatic way. And I didn't think that seeing an image of that cup would trigger me, but it fucking triggered me because I have this emotional attachment to it. So it's just been very clear to me about how emotionally attached I am to things, and I don't like it. I don't like it because it feels limiting to me. It feels like I am still having emotional or spiritual lack in my life. It also made me think about how I grew up around people who, like my mom's mom, I would consider a pretty significant hoarder. She could whip something out and be like, I could tell you all the stories about this fucking plate. Like, what? I think that my mom is kind of the same way. I just didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to acknowledge the reality of the situation, but I see how she clings to things, and it's not even objects anymore. It's like what her processes are, her workaholism. I'm grateful that I'm doing work around recovery from codependency, with doing therapy work. I'm starting to understand more about what needs and wants are, because before they were just like very merged. I couldn't differentiate if I actually wanted something, if it was a desire of mine, or if it was a necessity, like water or going out in nature is a necessity for human beings. And I was a very privileged person growing up. We had money, and I normally got a lot of the things that I wanted, but deep down, all I needed was my parents' emotional attunement, but I never got it. They made up, or they tried to make up for that by buying me things. They think that buying me things is loving me, when it's not. So I think that a part of me believed that if I collect all these things and objects, that I'll be surrounded by love, which isn't true. This is all coming to surface for me because of this whole moving out of South Carolina situation. I've struggled to choose a place because it feels like a decision to move into, even to another state that is wonderful and lovely and has all the things that I want and need. It still is another permanent location. It feels like I'm picking myself up and replanting myself somewhere else to just do the same fucking thing. And that scares me. I don't want to be that person anymore. I'm so good at isolating myself that I need to like not have that be an option or something. I also think that I feel this urge to start separating myself from my things, start separating the emotional attachments that I have to these objects and removing them from my life, just making the pile smaller and smaller and smaller. What that means for me is that I'm not going to move to another stationary location. I have actually made the decision to move into a camper van for a year or more, travel around the United States and see all of these places that I want to see so badly, learn to trust myself and trust my higher power more than I do right now, because it's going to require me doing a lot of things that fucking scare me. While it's also like a good financial option for me, it also doesn't make me fucking stuck there, because that's all I've done my entire life. Every couple of years, pick up, put down, pick up, put down, and do the same behaviors. I would still isolate. I would still not go out and socialize. And I think that living in a van makes it so the world is my backyard. I have no excuses of not going and visiting these really queer-friendly locations. I have no excuses to not go and see my friends that are all over the United States. This insight just came when I was in a very peaceful place. I was like winding down my night and getting really peaceful and still. I do a little meditating before I go to bed, like when the lights are going out, just to calm my brain, because wow, my brain doesn't like to shut the fuck up. So I got really peaceful and quiet and meditated, and the thought just came in my head of campervan. And I was like, what do you mean campervan? I was like, okay, noted thought, let's explore this tomorrow. And I did. I started exploring it and looking into what it meant financially, what it meant to me emotionally and physically. To make this move would be a big risk in a lot of these buckets for me. It does have some financial hurdles to get through, but I think that what is going to be more of a hurdle is what this is going to take for me to do emotionally, spiritually, and physically. It's going to challenge me to take responsibility for things that I haven't taken responsibility for my entire life. But like, I'm very grateful for this discard that happened from my mom, because it has just kicked open the door of opportunities for me to expand myself. While it is very fucking scary, the emotional reaction that I had to doing this research, it was the same reaction that I had when I just finally admitted to myself that I was transgender. Like, I couldn't stop crying because I was so fucking excited, but yet so fucking terrified. And that means it's the challenge for me. That's what I took from it, is that this is the challenge for me. I also had the epiphany of, I've followed a few people that are like nomadic, and I had been subscribed to them for a long time, but I never watched their videos. And I did the same thing with Chase. Ooh, what the fuck is his last name? Uppercase Chase. He'd been on YouTube for a really long time, along with like Ty Turner. Those two I had subscribed to for a really long time, and I never watched their videos because I was so jealous. I was envious that they didn't have any fear of coming out, of starting the transition. And I had so much fear because of how codependent I was and how much people's opinions weighed on me. I had the same epiphany about these nomadic people that I couldn't watch their videos because I was so jealous and envious that they had the confidence and less fear to take that journey. That was a huge revelation for me. I think that I had been like passively trying to get past this attachment that I have to things, but I was only trying to do it cognitively, in my head, trying to break these attachments, when that's just not how things have worked for me. I have to experience it and be reminded of when I'm away from these things, I don't miss them and they don't really affect my life. I find so much joy and peace just being out in nature, looking for rocks, being around water, being on the road. I love driving. I love doing road trips. And to think about taking my home with me, having Phoenix with me, it makes me so fucking excited. There's this lady that I watched on YouTube. I do not remember her channel name, but I will put the link in the description below. She also did a TED Talk on like nomadic lifestyles and living in a camper van, and I watched the whole thing, and of course it resonated with me. She was saying everything that I was saying before I left Google, of like how I know that being at this company doesn't fulfill me, how working 9 to 5 is not fulfilling for me, how achieving success, what success means in the world right now to a lot of people, is not what success means to me. I was living being in alignment with a lot of society's expectations of what success are. Normally that requires wealth and wealth in money. And to me, wealth is an experience. Wealth is in the journey and the adventures and the people and the connections that you make with nature and brand new people and other places and cities. That is so meaningful and impactful to me. So yeah, that was a great fucking talk, but I'm at a point where I need some kind of shift to happen. And this one just feels vroom vroom, bitch. This one just feels right. I didn't have this emotional reaction or connection when I thought about moving anywhere. I thought about Minnesota and Colorado and New York and Washington and Oregon. Ultimately, the thought of picking up just to move and permanently put down again doesn't resonate with me anymore. It's all I've done my entire life, and I need to be on a journey that doesn't have a destination so that I can experience what it's like to appreciate and love the journey. Appreciate and love the connection that I have with Mother Nature. It's not going to take away anything from anything else that I love. I live a pretty minimalist lifestyle. I've just collected a lot of shit over my life. I probably collected them while I was in some sort of emotional crisis where I just needed comfort. You know, when you turn to shopping for comfort, I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm not going to. There's somebody behind me walking. Yeah, I am still going to be able to make content, and I think that I'm going to have even more time to focus on content. There's so much positive that comes with doing this for me that I don't think that there's any turning back. I'm excited, I'm having conversations with people about getting a custom van built out so that I can make sure that I have my desk, that I have the things that I really need, which are like a computer, internet, maybe a video game or two, my books, kitty, the ability to cook the food that I really love. Then I have everything I fucking need. Man, to document this journey on what moving into a van is going to be like, I think it's just going to be so fun, and it's going to remind me of my progress and my goals, which are very different from what society wants my goals to be. And sometimes on days where I don't have that much confidence, it can get the fucking best of me. Just like how I go back and respond to these YouTube videos and watch them, it shows me my progress. I hope that me documenting this whole campervan process is going to remind me 3 years from now why I did this. And, you know, I'm saying that this is only for a year, but every time I say that, there's just something in my stomach and in my heart that's just like, it's not going to be just 1 year. It might be a few years. For me to just really reconnect with myself and prioritize me, it makes me more accessible to this world because, like I've said before, I hate flying, but it's the cheapest way and the least time-consuming way to travel anywhere. But if I could travel and drive my home around, that changes everything for me. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really scared about what it means to emotionally detach myself from things that have meant a lot to me and have brought me a lot of comfort throughout my life. But it's time. I know that everything that I need is within myself, and that if I just keep attaching to the things that are healthy for me, like nature and connection and the things that bring me joy that maybe society doesn't think brings me joy, like rock hounding, going and searching for rocks, sitting by water, tumbling rocks and making them independence, like reading books outside. Those things are so simple and they don't bring me income, but they bring me joy. And that is more important to me right now in my life than money. So yeah, that's what's going on for me. While it's scary, it's so fucking exhilarating to think about aligning myself with myself and not aligning myself to who society wants me to be or who my parents wanted me to be. So it's exciting. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Attachment's hard. Do you guys have any attachment issues to things, people, places, things that you're wanting to work through? If so, please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear about it. Let's share our journey together. Yeah, I hope you guys are having a beautiful, beautiful day. I'll see you guys back here next week. No, not next week, the following week for another episode of Generation Recovery, friends. This is about to turn into roadside recovery. You know what I mean? That's exciting. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. I really appreciate you guys, and all of your love and support it means a lot to me. So thank you guys for always just loving me regardless. And until I see you guys next time, be well, friends.